I have a friend in Ohio. I've been working with him. His mom passed away. Something real hard time. Drinking too much is why I calls him. He's drinking. You know, I call him like he is.
He's drunk. I don't think I'm really.
I'm like,
I think it's the dynamics of the suitcase. Where were you guys? You guys.
I think he was trying to pump it.
Where's it?
Wave it all. It's like,
Yeah.
it's difficult.
Hello.
Yes. Good thing is he at least turned around. That's good. Have a buddy who like that. East Coast. He's heavily in
Good. So long.
That's
So long. No, hands down.
Many years. What you can do is call him and once.
I got it.
I saw my. United Message how much. I did. That's really. You know, graduated.
It's hard.
So, yeah, I work from home. And they want to move on a hot. Kind of heavy. Oh, yeah. No, like, they're talking about like, working on, it's on the way on, just to, yeah. Not, I don't know, if you're people's, it's like, okay. You do this in my store. Actually, you get outside, it's just like, Oregon, right? It's just all laughs, a bunch of lakes.
Yeah.
Vacation plans coming up, anything
I'm
fun?
born up in northern on a lake. And we stayed up. We got to turn it someday and it was, she's got a brick house, she grew up in.
In Arizona.
No, no,
Oh.
Minnesota.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, like, they told me go to Arizona. I'm like, "Here's the pictures." I'll come into February or March, but I'm not coming the other time. It's supposed to. What is it? Right here, you see the beach. A little bit of just that big, big meat.
That was gnarly. What is it? I go back to Rutherford. Rutherford doesn't come home like that. So I was like,
Beautiful day out there,
but
for the most part.
I've heard,
Right, so
or I get pictures all the time. Now, different.
He might not. He said he used mine. I didn't know.
Well, those. It's on, it's working.
Oh, I did. But he. Chris, sorry. I know about that. Yeah. He wanted. Well, no. Well, what will this go off?
Exactly a minute and a half.
Thank you, they look very nice.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm glad of the house.
That was custom wear in the company.
No.
We have a big badge.
That was, okay.
This would be about a lot of people to know.
It says Jervis.
Someone could float in water. Sounds around. Okay, it's 7:00, my clock. Let's go ahead and kick this meeting off. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, everyone, welcome to the July, I not believe it's already July, City Council meeting for 2023. Before we move forward with the regular agenda, I would like to ask council members if there's any consent agenda you would like to move out for regular discussion and also council items. Councilor Young? I have nothing. Councilor Fenton? Okay, then we'll keep consent agenda as is. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to the first agenda topic for the evening, discussion regarding regulations of camping on public property. And I will hand the floor over to City Administrator Lee.
Thank you, Mayor, councilors. In your packet, there is a memo to council kind of outlining why we are doing. I'll summarize it just briefly. In response to a state mandate requiring cities across Oregon to review camping ordinance, council directed staff at the June 13th meeting to form an internal team to develop draft language for a new ordinance related to camping on public property. The team comprised Chief Rash, Director Noggle, Superintendent Krebs, and myself. Staff considered noise, lighting, impact to neighborhoods, and providing safe space for individuals experiencing homelessness to camp on a temporary basis. Staff did not include the identified designated area for camping within the ordinance language itself, as it may change if we have an influx to unhoused individuals seeking places to rest or camp. Currently, Hubbard is not experiencing any unhoused individuals seeking a place to rest or camp. But we have identified a location, so both motorhomes and tent camping would be allowed at City Hall. The lighting is low and the area is generally quiet. We would have law enforcement present most of the time when we're fully staffed up. We also would need to provide bathroom facilities, which would be brought in on an as-needed basis. Additionally, the city is required to provide up to 30 days of storage of personal property for an individual experiencing homelessness in which they are unable to move or relocate their property immediately. And staff has identified the city shops as it would be close to where they are camping. And with that, the Hubbard Police Department does have its own separate policy that they follow. This policy includes, illegal activity, seizure of personal property, behavioral health, and posting a 72-hour notice. Staff is asking council for any edits to the draft language, and the edits would be incorporated and brought back for approval of an ordinance in August. And again, this is all directed by state of Oregon based on several lawsuits that have gone through the Ninth Circuit Court and also some House bills that passed in the regular session in the 2021.
Questions for you. The first one, in terms of the state mandate for us having the city having to store personal possessions, what is the upper limit of that? Like an entire household's items or something that would fit in a 10 by 10, 100 feet designated area?
So it actually does not designate what that amount is. It is basically any personal property that they need for sleeping. So it would be food, any bedding, tents, that kind of stuff. Anything that's deemed like perishable or kind of a biohazard, we have the authority to dispose of that and not store it.
Are we allowed then to turn around and stipulate that the storage will be limited to a 10 by 10 foot or a 10 foot by 10 foot area?
We are not.
Second question I might have then is when we define a vehicle or a motor vehicle, are we allowed to designate that vehicle has to be operational?
Under law, that,
So it can't just be one that broke down and they're just gonna
No.
keep it there.
no, so if it breaks down, we have the authority or right to tow it.
Additional questions that might be from council?
When you say city shops, is it these city shops, the city shops where the water tower is?
It'd be the city shops where the water tower is.
So it's not the big water tower, but the one behind Field Fjord? Or this one right here, across from the church?
It'd be actually this one right here across from the church, sorry, yeah.
Okay. That seems awfully small.
Well, so in my past life, I dealt with unhoused individuals and storing their property. Generally, you are looking at less than a shopping cart full. And it's also, we have the authority to determine what is considered safe. It can't be soiled, it can't be some sort of at-risk material. So we can throw stuff away. So it's really keeping tents, sleeping bags, blankets, clothing, any other sort of personal items, which generally, they might have shopping carts. We don't have to store shopping carts though. But there's just not a lot.
Councilor Thomas, any questions?
I don't know.
Councilor Steininger?
I was just curious why we don't put the location designation in the policy.
Just because, so for example, if we had an influx of unhoused individuals, right now we figure that we could accommodate about 3 motorhomes and a couple tents in this location. If we had an influx, we would have to revise our ordinance or do an amendment to identify a designated area. This will provide council some flexibility, especially like if we have a state of emergency where we're required to put up some sort of state mandated shelter for unhoused individuals. Our ordinance will still apply. It'll just, the location's changed.
Does that leave any room for people coming back and saying, well, because of whatever, you made us go somewhere else? That would be my only concern, like,
In law, we have the flexibility to define whatever designated area it is. We don't have to define that in policy, and looking at other cities in Oregon and how they have drafted their policies, none of them state exactly where the designated area is.
thank you for all the work you put into looking at all of that.
Okay, Councilor Young?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Run any spelling mistakes?
Let's say that again.
Spelling mistakes or punctuation?
Not in that section.
I don't have any additional questions on it. I do appreciate city staff time going through reviewing this and making sure we're in compliance with state law. There's no further discussion, then I'm assuming you can take this back from it and we can have a final vote on it then in August?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, discussion regarding the proposed amendment to council rules and procedures.
Mayor,
Excuse me, could I have a moment to kind of talk about this?
The what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Go ahead, why don't you come on up?
Concerned citizen?
Yes,
on number 4 is coming up. We can.
no, that's okay.
Well,
My discretion, go ahead. I would like, go ahead, feel free. Please state your name and your.
Mike Noe, 305 Hudson Drive. I understand we have a homeless crisis, I get it. I'm a little concerned that Administrator Waite voiced that there's no known homeless individuals living in Hudson right now, and that's false. There is one who lives on Hoodview and Deep. He's been there several months. Most of the time, he's probably just in his van, harmless. He may be harmless all the time. He has episodes. He's known to the police department. They told us his name. I don't know what a good day and a bad day looks like for Eduardo. And when he has a bad day, he sits on top of his van and he shouts at people. Anybody passing by in car or on foot, it's unnerving. like I said, I get it, there's a homeless problem. But to have it said that there's no known individuals in Hubbard is a little bit concerning to me, because if we expect an influx, and maybe we don't, but if there is an influx of homeless individuals and you don't even know about at least the one, how are you gonna manage the rest of them? And that's my only concern. I'm concerned about my safety, because I don't know what a bad day looks like for him. He roams the neighborhood. He goes to the field behind Oak Street. I don't know what he's doing. People approach his van. Strange people sit in his van. It's just a little bit concerning to me. And I just thought you all should know about it.
Thank you. And your name was again?
Mike, no,
Mike, no,
no,
thank you. I'm actually aware of.
I'd like to address something too while we're doing it.
Well, Rocky, please sit down. We'll have it coming up in a second. Well, we are aware of that individual.
I can't talk.
It's by the discretion of myself. So just wait, we will have you come up.
So you don't write me, so you're not going.
No, Rocky, that's not it at all.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep us on track. Okay, so Chief Rash, I'm assuming we already know about this individual.
Yeah, and, I got this, no, sorry, Sean.
It's okay.
So we dealt with him, and I talked to Sergeant, Anderson about it. We're waiting for this to tell him where we designate the spot to. We don't have it in writing yet. His relatives live around the corner. He knows the 72-hour abandoned vehicle. We've talked to him about it. We've tagged it. He was in a place where he couldn't get his car one time. He actually got access to a phone, told us he was going to be there tonight. He was. I saw that he moved it from Hood View back to D Street again. And in 3 days, he'll move it again. It's a cat and mouse game with him. So we've tried to get any services that he needs. And there's just limited. So we know, we're well aware of him. All the officers deal with him, all the dispatchers deal with him. It's just someone we're chasing around. So once we get this established, we're gonna tell him where he can stay overnight, but he's gonna have to move.
But then hopefully this will address some of the concern you have. At least we'll know where the individual
And,
is.
for the gentleman, I'm sorry, your name. Michael. Oregon law is very tight about if he's a danger to himself or someone else, just because he yells, it's not a danger. We've tried everything. He has EVP issues, and he just needs somebody who needs a little more attention that's not there. Not from police or anything from the services around, so. Yeah,
Well, thank you, Chief Rash. And thank you for bringing that up. That is a good concern that you brought up.
I just, last month, he was on the doorstep, man. I mean, he's just not all there. So,
Keeping us back on agenda though, I would like to go ahead and move back onto the discussion regarding the proposed amendment to the council rules and procedures.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Council. Staff identified that there were some inconsistencies with the council rules of procedure ordinance. Most of the changes are small cleanup items, but there are some significant changes in adding committees to all the sections. As the ordinance only referred to boards and commissions, additionally, language was added that board, committee, and commission members served at the pleasure of the council. Staff is asking for council to, for any edits to the draft language, and those edits will be incorporated and brought back for approval in August.
I know on this one, I shared some edits with you already. I'll get those to an email so they're easier to remember instead of me just going to left pages. I do appreciate the gender neutral language that was put in. So that's actually really good. Also good edits in my opinion. So thank you. But let's go ahead from council. We'll start this way with Councilor Nolan. Any questions, concerns?
Well, I just talk about verbiage and stuff like that, so. As I read through it, second page, last word is spelled O-R-E for or. I think that should just be O-R. As in this or that, or vacancy or removal. Let's see that one. I'll just that ready. And then let's get to see. And section 2.10.070 rules of the debate. And where the edits are, you have they once and their, which should probably be they want. It's kind of edit there. Okay. I think that was all we really to like, oh, take that back, I apologize. And we're way down to 2.10.160. Where you added paragraph 3B as in Delta. No more than one individual from a household may be appointed, should be an ED there. You see that one? That was it. This was just a spelling edit, update, correcting the language. That's all I have. It looks great.
I love all the edits. It looks really good. Nothing should change.
I've got anything, thank you. Councilor Robert?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay, makes it really simple on that one then. So I'm assuming on this one then, again, Director, I'll go ahead and send you the suggestions I had. And I'm assuming next month we can bring this in for approval then.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, number 4, appearance of interested citizens.
I got a bunch, so. Roger Stewart, 262 Nina Place. We need to fix something in the agenda under 7A. He's no longer the interim fire chief. He's the fire chief of Hubbard now. So I guess that's been changed for 3 months now. So he's actually the chief now. I talked to him about it like last month. So another thing is, we had a successful trip in Jervis for 4th of July. Hubbard Strong came out good. We brought some nice cars out there. Chief Rash did a great job teaming up with Jervis Police. He was real professional, representing Hubbard very well. So please report that. Community garden, we started work after council last week, after our meeting. We started cleaning up, pulling weeds. We even planted some beans that night. My concern, the concerns is, I was just gonna piggyback off of him because he brought up a valid point. Right across the street from yours, Councilman Steininger, is a brown house where the dogs roam freely. And I got $1,000 ticket, 2 tickets for $500 for my ticket, for my dogs accidentally getting released. And these dogs roam daily. And their kids are like naked, hanging out in front of their house like on the road, playing on the road. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Have you called the city hall to report the dogs are running?
Jake Ramirez has actually, because he's experienced more than me, and since he couldn't make it here tonight, so I wanted to bring.
As long as it's been reported.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that issue for Jake because he was on the meeting tonight. Another thing is, where are we at on the pumps? I mean, did we ever get that warranty situation? We could buy a pump and we find a place to store our parts, because that just didn't make sense that we're.
What are you speaking of?
For the fountain splash pad, did we get that all fixed and everything? Because I like your concern, Councilman Thomas, about how that thing is funny, how we got a brand new part and we didn't have a warranty for it, and it's already bad because it's been sitting. I don't recall that. You don't recall it from last month? Because you were saying, it's not, why are you saying it's weak? Remember you got mad at, Public Works, Krebs said that, why are you saying it's weak?
Well, to keep us on track, I do know this, Director Wright has done a fantastic job working with Public Works to both address the electrical issues we have up there as well as getting pumps installed. So we have a long-term solution already in plan. We'll probably have that discussion with the Public Works update.
What else was the other thing? There's several other stuff. Been working with the Hop Festival, helping them with food vendors, reach out to someone. I guess they had 2 food people back out, so I've been working with Marine, getting some replacements. So just to let you know, Jervis Festival went good, the fireworks parade went good, quite a bit of participants. We even had the General League, who's had their car in the parade. So, and then we're looking forward to having the Harvest Festival again this year in October. We're not gonna do the parade, we're just doing a kickball game. Hubbard versus Jervis. So if you guys want to get that, we'll start building a team. Jervis started building a team. We did our first annual
kickball game between Hubbard and Jervis at the Harvest Festival. So this could be an annual event. So to get the two towns together, have Annie, captain, whoever the mayor is here, could be the captain of the Hubbard team, kind of continue to build that relationship. And sorry that I got aggravated. It's been a long day. I was up at the VA hospital for 6 hours, visiting soldiers and stuff, and the traffic was bad. I didn't think I was gonna be here on time. So I apologize. It wasn't nothing personal to
Sure.
the reaction. I was just hoping I could piggyback off what he said about my concerns about those kids, little kids, like no clothes, hanging out near the streets and their dogs. There's a lot of activity going on in that house, that brown house, right in front of the garden.
Okay, well, wait after the meeting, we'll chat with you about that one.
All right, so mine's public safety, and so when he brought that up, when kids are running around naked in our city, it's not safe. Especially if there's a homeless guy that we don't, and then he has different kind of attitudes, and that kind of brought my alert, because I want our kids ultimately to be safe, even if their parents don't care. I want the kids to be safe anyways.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
Any other citizens like to come up and speak? I wouldn't say citizens, concerned citizens. Fine.
Crystal Ross, facility 3427 4th Street, Hubbard, Oregon. Hey, two things. I just want to thank you for putting in sidewalks down 3rd Street and East Street. I've been able to use those and it's fantastic. And then second of all, we have an interim superintendent at North Marion School District. His name is Bill Rhodes. He's fantastic. And so if you haven't had a chance to meet him, please reach out. So he'll be with us for 2 years and maybe longer. Thank you so much. Interim.
Just
Interim. Yeah, right now.
He's not gonna take it, huh?
What?
He's not gonna take the superintendent.
No, so the way the school district, the last meeting is we were only hiring for an interim, but he did agree to 2 years, which will get us through strategic plan.
Thank you, Mrs. Ross.
Was he already on the board too?
Huh?
Was he already on the school board before that?
No, he has not been on the school board.
He was athletic director of Milwaukee Highlanders, SRO.
Oh, that's what that means.
Do you know?
I had a student teaching under my mom.
Yeah, he's good.
Just small.
Good, good.
All right. Okay, point of order, we'll keep moving. Is there any other interested citizens that would like to step up to speak? Okay, if there's no other interested citizens, let's go ahead and move on to mayor and or council presentations. I do have one thing for city employees. I was emailed earlier today about a Volcanoes game, July 19th for city appreciation. Discounted tickets are available to city employees. I'm not sure, Director Wade, if that went out to everyone or not. If not, I will forward it so you have the opportunity to forward it out to the rest of the staff.
Yeah, I believe it went out to everyone.
Perfect.
I will be unable to go. I'm in a conference in Pendleton for the OCCMA.
No worries. I just want to make sure you guys are aware of it.
Is that the game that Jade Gunner's supposed to?
No, that's tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
The other thing, I do want to acknowledge my appreciation for the sidewalks that are on 3rd Street as well as 8th Street. I do have a question though on that. Could we revisit in the future quality metrics like a straight line instead of a wavy sign form? That was kind of interesting. Drives me crazy when I walk down there, but I do enjoy walking it. I talked with a lot of neighbors down that way as well. They all appreciate it. And I do appreciate Public Works coming back through, working with them on the aprons from the actual asphalt into this, into their driveways. There was some concerns that I fielded, I think the first day I walked along it. So you guys addressed that. So thank you very much. Other thing, my appreciation goes out to, again, you and Public Works for getting the fountain back on just in time for the heat wave to hit. I do know that was a lot of work. You guys put a lot of effort on it and the right emphasis was put on it. You guys got it up and I've been watching the kids enjoy that up there for the last couple of weeks. It's been awesome. And it hasn't broken down. So
Cross 3 years.
I know, right?
every day I wake up, is it turning on?
Right.
That's all I've got for presentations real quick, but let's go around. Councilor Rogers,
I have nothing. Thank you.
Councilor Thomas,
I have nothing, thanks.
Councilor Spencer,
I don't have anything.
Councilor Guy. Okay. Let's move on to city administrator report outs, and we'll start with city administrator Wade.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Council. I'll start with the legislative session. There was a lot of activity and kind of scrambling the last weekend of session. as the walkout had ended, so we're still sorting through where things are at as far as the bills. We know some things didn't make it out of committee and some bills just died, and so we're gonna have a meeting with League of Oregon Cities. It was scheduled to be the 12th, but they moved it to the 14th, so I'll be attending that meeting and debrief council on any bills. I do want to highlight a couple. So House Bill 2199, extending the sunset date for enterprise zoning program. There were a lot of conversations and testimony from school districts. And they did amend this bill, so they are requiring additional reporting. So that was something that all cities said, we want additional reporting and transparency. We didn't feel like we were getting those reports. So that's changing. And then also the school districts were realizing a financial hardship with this program. And so any property tax that's levied by school districts will be exempt from this program. So that was one change. And then House Bill 2662, the Willamette Valley Commuter Rail Task Forces, that was in committee at adjournment, and so nothing moved forward. This House bill would require Hubbard, Donald, Aurora, Kaiser, Wilsonville, Salem, Woodburn, and the rail and transit districts to form a task force and develop recommendations to the legislature on funding, project planning, and other requirements. They do expect this bill to revive in the short session later this year. So that will require the city of Hubbard to identify somebody from council to be a representative. So more to come on that. Next area, year-end close is underway. The engagement letter with Grove, Mueller, and Swank to begin our audit process is included in your packet for approval. The application for the Ford Foundation grant is underway and should be completed next week. If awarded, the funding will be used for development of an economic and community investment plan for council's consideration. Work is continuing on the Safe Streets for All grant, which we will be looking at improving safety of our youth at school bus stops. Flyers will be handed out at the North Marion School District Federal Summer Meal Break Program, as well as posted on the school district's Facebook page, the Hubbard's Facebook page, and also our website. I'll also be canvassing the community to get input about what they want to see as far as increased safety at our bus stops. So that process is moving forward. First Students and the school district have just been great partners in this. They've really been supportive and helpful in moving this application forward. Also, this just kind of happened. The city is going to be partnering with the City of Woodburn Library, and beginning in late August, the bookmobile will be parking at Revenus Park for once a week. That we haven't worked out whether it's Tuesdays or Thursdays yet. And it'll be parked there for 45 minutes, one of those days. The books will be in English, Spanish, and Russian, and will primarily focus on youth reading materials, but there will be some selections for adult readers. The service is at no cost to the city. It's a joint grant that kind of part of the work that we're doing on the tourism group is starting to benefit in other areas. So that's where there's no cost. The grant was awarded to Woodburn, so they'll be running the bookmobile. Additionally, there was a request for information at one of the council meetings regarding how many accidents had occurred at the 76 station and Highway 99 East. So I wanted to report out that information, and Chief Rash probably has more detail. But there have been 12 accidents in the past 5 years. One was a fatality and 6 resulted in injuries. I participated in a conversation with ODOT, Donald, and Aurora to discuss the safety corridor a speed mitigation plan that they're implementing for that area. And then I brought up the incidents that we had at the 76 station and 99E. They have identified that area as a high crash area. And they are going to be looking at what are some options to mitigate traffic.
Anything would help. I mean,
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a lot with 12 incidents or accidents, but even one fatalities.
Shrewsbury's not bad.
I got you.
Council. All right. Any questions for Administrator Wade? Council Rogers? Promise?
No questions, thanks.
Council Simon?
Just one question on the bookmobile. Is that going to require a library card, like the library in Woodburn, or is it gonna be just anybody can take a book and bring a book back?
So they would prefer that you fill out a library card and fill out the form to get a library card. You don't have to.
Okay.
So, we know that we already have that little wooden shelf thing that's kind of a book exchange. So they don't want to compete with that either, but they also want to be able to provide opportunities. So, well, we realize there could be some loss of material by not having library cards. They're willing to go ahead and move forward with that.
Okay, so any children that just want to come get a book will have access.
Mhm.
Well, thank you.
Councilor Elmer?
Only thing I can see is, somebody wanting to return a book and putting it in that little community library
Yeah.
versus returning it to the van. Yeah, so. And then backing up a little bit at the 76 station, probably 15 years ago, but I was involved in an accident there. And that different, wasn't a 76 station at the time, but
Yeah, changes different, yeah.
but I was involved in an accident there myself many years ago. And totaled my car and there's a big dent.
Yeah, it would be great to understand if we could put like a crossing and a flashing light or something there, but I know it's ODOT's road and I'm not even sure of the city boundaries there, so.
So the
Oh, right.
76 station is actually outside.
It's just right outside, yeah.
Yeah, the reason all those calls we recover or something, and the fatal was that auto head that happened to that guy that's crossing the street. Is fatal. So yeah, it's in, so Marion County gives it the OSP and we end up going because when it comes out of the injury accident.
Yeah, you're right down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Well, hopefully something will come out of the discussion with ODOT. I know our 99 is getting extremely busy. Okay, if there's no other questions, then let's move on to the police department. We'll hand it over to Chief Rash.
Okay, Molly did produce the monthly statistics and apologize for being late. She went on vacation and on like June 28th, so it was wasn't ready to go. Well, good news to report. Tim Hart, new officer, starts next Monday, 1 o'clock. We're swearing him in here. He comes from the Marion County Corrections Field. He was there about 4.5 years. Before that, he worked for the State of Oregon Department of Corrections up in Pendleton, the state prison up there. And for that, he is a graduate of Western Oregon with a criminal justice degree.
Wow.
And worked in their Department of Public Safety, which is pretty much parking patrol at Western. So we're excited. And unfortunately, I've got a call from another officer and got a conditional offer at EMD again. So we're hoping to have him through the summer. Their chief told me, I asked him and he said probably the end of August when they get through everything. So Canby's a little unique in things that they get conditional offer before background. So, which I don't think there should be anything in the background, but no, yeah, so, yeah, it's frustrating, but I also made a comment to the chief, we hire good people, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we're a great pitching ground.
Yeah, it's just that it's not unique to, everybody's in the same boat. Jervis is losing 2, it sounds like, or at least 1. And Mount Angel lost 2. So we're all in the same boat. There's so many jobs out there. Yeah. Anyway, the parade this weekend, we have, 3 Mount Angel officers, 2 Jervis officers, at least 1 Marion County deputy, 7 Clackamas County cadets, and 1 Marion County cadet. So we should have a pretty good showing, for the parade and have the streets, at least the ones that are a little busy or blocked, so everybody's safe. Got 2 motor officers this year. The, one reason we get them is they lead the parade and everybody likes the stuff they do, but they also informally keep the kids out of the way when they're, they're paying attention to motorcycles, parents haven't get back. So it's a safety thing too, but we got 1 from Woodburn and 1 from, Silverton. Other than that, National Night Out, we just have 1 sign up so far. I asked Molly again to reach out to the 3 or 4 that we had last year, so hopefully we'll get a couple more. So if you know anybody, contact Molly, and we'll get out there and make sure the fire department goes to each event too. And that's all I have. Anybody has any questions?
On your call records, the 26 calls for ordinance, was that based off of the letters that went out last month or whatever?
So, I think so, but we have also signed, so now that, and James, our intern, he's completed this program. We got a nice letter from the professors in charge of the programs. Is that officers are now following up. And so, like, Officer Bentley's been assigning, and he's been doing the last 2 days, so there'll be more this month. And so, but yes, and to answer your question, they're in reference level letters. It's what we should have done first time around.
Actually, Mr. Wait, a question for you. Is this something we might actually maybe put maybe a short link or something up on our website that talks about ordinances or code enforcement, so people can understand why the police are called out? It's complaint driven, stuff like that. I don't, it might help educate, even with Mr. Sherwood when he's asking about the dog roaming around. So someone has a one-stop shop, they can go to the website, click on it and understand someone's doing something wrong in their neighborhood, they can call.
Is Director Noggle, believes there might be something out there already, but we'll double check
Thank you.
and make sure that it happens.
Because the only reminder we give is about April, right, on noxious weeds.
Yep. Usually goes out around springtime, yeah. Okay, questions for Chief Rash. We'll start with Councilor Rogers. Councilor Thomas?
No questions, please.
Councilor Steiner?
No question.
Councilor Young?
Do not have any questions.
All right, then we'll go ahead and move along down to the administrative department. Director Noble.
Okay, tomorrow we're gonna, the installation of our, voice over IP phone and training. We are updating the website and we've created a new web page. It's still under construction. We also we had issues with the Facebook page and we have got that, I think we've got that up and running now. We're going to be switching over to the new page. Just sent out a notification last week about that. So we'll still be kind of transitioning over to the new page. Other than that, I do not have anything else to report unless you have any questions.
Good luck on your VoIP phone training. You'll like it. You really will. Councilor Rogers, any questions?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Councilor Thomas?
No questions, please.
Councilor Banner?
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Director Wade, are you going to report out for Public Works? And, or do we have Melinda on? We have. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a report out or if we're just gonna leave it for this month.
Yeah, so, wanted to let you know that Superintendent Krebs was pulled away for a family emergency, so he's been able to be here tonight. He did ask that I provide a brief update that the work that was done for 8th Street between 3rd and 5th and 3rd Street between A and D and 5th Street between F and G, they are those projects are wrapping up. We had a little water line break issue, but we got that fixed. I would like to give a shout out to our public works staff. Our public works utility workers have been just working as hard as they can to keep up with all these projects and keep the splash fountain running and getting our parks in shape and then getting ready for the Hop Fest this weekend. They will have Romanes Park, completed as far as, preparing for the Hop Fest by Thursday morning. So, really appreciate all the good work that they're doing.
Did notice the other day, public works worker, one out trimming the Rivers Park Memorial. You know, because a lot of people don't know there's a whole memorial thing there. It was trimming all that vegetation back and it looked much, much nicer.
Yeah.
So I've noticed them out and about trying to keep up on that, so.
And we have hired a new public works utility worker, one position. He starts orientation tomorrow. Comes to us with an extensive background in water and also landscaping, so he'll be able to contribute immediately to the team.
Wonderful. Any questions from the public works side from Councilor Young? We'll go backwards this time.
I do not.
Councilor Steiner?
I just wanted to say I did drive around Rivernes Park and was very impressed with how nice it looked. It was a real, I was almost surprised with how much they've gotten done since the last time I'd been by. And then also, I just wanted to say thanks for getting the streets up so fast. Like, when we first thought breaking, I helped with the Hop Festival, and when we saw the road started to get tore up, we're like, is it gonna be done in time? But it's ready for the parade, and it's gonna be, the sidewalks are gonna be great for the kids to stand on, so really excited about that, and thank you for all the hard work and expedience that you guys have done to get it done. Thank you.
Councilor Tom?
No questions, thanks.
Councilor Audrey?
No, I just noticed the painting going on.
It's amazing. They paint those lines and immediately tire tracks. It looked really sharp and nice for all of 15 minutes. Okay, I don't know if we have Fire Chief Carmen on. Okay, then we'll go ahead and move on to this. Go ahead,
I
Councilor.
will say I attended, training this morning with Hubbard Fire, Woodburn Fire, and Woodburn Police, they're active training at Woodburn High School. Which I was surprised that we didn't have Hubbard there, but
Us,
yeah,
we were invited. I'm the only one working and I've got to get that chance done. Yeah, I talked to Lieutenant about it.
and it was very good training because there's a lot of changes happening within the whole system of school shootings.
We did training with Candy last month, but yeah, we wanted the Sarge is on vacation and the other two guys were off. So
So it was good training, and Hubbard Fire, I believe, learned a lot this morning, so.
Excellent. Okay, any other questions before we move on? Okay, now we're going to move on to the consent agenda. I'll go ahead and read the titles. A, approval of the meeting minutes for June 6, 2023, the Budget Committee, and for June 21, 2023, the Special City Council meeting. B, approval of the June 2023 check register report. C, acceptance of the engagement letter from Grove, Mueller, and Swank PC for audit services year ending June 30th, 2022, and authorize the mayor to sign. D, approved intergovernmental agreement between the City of Hubbard and Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, and authorize the city administrator to sign.
make a motion to approve consent agenda as stated.
You have a question, Councilor Aldridge?
I do, and sorry. It's okay. There was on the council meeting minutes for June 21st, that myself and Mayor Ross still were unable to attend. Says that council or Mayor Ross still voted in favor.
Wasn't that the one,
Were you on Zoom?
were you on Zoom?
Yes, I came in late, but I was on. Yeah,
I was just confused because he was excused like I was.
I was excused, but I came in and surprised them all with a last minute surprise. It was perfect. I do appreciate the counselor. Tom is creating that meeting.
Correct.
Well, no, where it says excuse, we'll, move it and we'll move it, came in later, something like that. We'll correct that.
Good.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those disapprove say nay. Okay, consent agenda carries. With that, any other city business, the councilors and or city staff? Okay, next agenda topic then is adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, meeting is adjourned. Unanimous vote. Thank you all.
Oh, it was.
National Night Out is August 1st, right?
And then